I've been in affiliate marketing for about 11 years and based out of CJ's Westboro office, which is right outside of Boston.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kim Riedell, and I'm also from Junction. I'm the Vice President of Client Development, and I've been in the industry for about 6 years, working with advertisers and publishers. Very exciting. And I've recently been named as a director on the newly formed Performance Marketing Alliance. So if you have any questions afterwards, you can certainly talk to me about that. So before we get started, I just want to have a quick poll. How many of you out here are advertisers or merchants? Okay, and how many are publishers?
Great.
Great, so it's about half and half.
Yeah. Cool.
Perfect. So this presentation is for pretty much for advertisers and publishers. We did a little bit of a dual focus here to make sure that we covered both parties. So we're going to get started. So unless you've been living in a hole or a cave, here's what the economy looks like. So it's a little crazy out there, a little bit of messy, looks like a plate of spaghetti. And it's sort of changed things, changed the way merchants are doing business, the way publishers are doing business. For some of our clients, it's been a little bit devastating, quite frankly. They've lost margin, they've lost profitability, they've lost customers, and they're really trying to regain themselves and sustain themselves. But for others, and it's merchants and publishers alike, they've seen some amazing growth numbers in this new economy. And so we're going to talk a lot about what that growth is and why they're seeing growth.
So one of the things that we're seeing is that consumers are screaming for coupons. I don't think it's any secret to anyone. We see coupon sites in the media. We see them all over the place, and consumers are demanding this right now. At the same time, the consumer spend is contracted. And also, the consumers are becoming more savvy in their shopping habits online, which is why we feel that coupons are actually a great tool for all of you, publishers and advertisers, to engage these consumers in new ways that you might not have been doing so before. So at CJ, as Kim mentioned, we see the results of this every day. We see what's been going on in this shift in consumer demand and consumer spending. One of the things we decided to do was talk to some of our bigger publishers and see what they're seeing in the marketplace. And this little stat came from shopping search engine, thefind.com. And what they were telling us is they've seen a 30% increase in viewed searches on coupon and sale related terms, which again, given the current economy, people looking for coupons really wasn't that much of a surprise to us. And moreover, in taking a look at some recent stats coming from Internet Retailer, which took more of a deep dive into this consumer behavior, Internet Retailer found in consumer survey, 72% said they search online more often for better deals. This means these people were likely going to a store before, making a decision right then and there and purchasing. Now they're considering multiple channels where they can get the best offer. 33% of people said that they are more likely to click on an ad that contains language around coupons and deals. 69% of consumers said they do use coupons to save money online, and 44% said that they use comparison shopping sites to find the best deals and coupons online. So at the end of the day, the consumer is using multiple channels and going through using the online environment to find multiple ways to absolutely get the best deal. And one of the big beneficiaries of this are the coupon and deal sites, which is what we're going to talk a little bit about today. These stats recently came out from ComScore. The two stats here, the yellowish orange line is year-over-year growth in terms of coupon sites and coupon vertical. And the blue bars are overall unique visitors. And the interesting point, the two interesting points actually are the holiday shopping season. You'll see that in December '08. We all expect the coupon sites to do well then, but 46% year-over-year growth is pretty fantastic. And then you have that little bump of 41% down in February, which is kind of that exclamation point on the consumer behavior. They continue to go back to the coupon sites even when the main holiday seasons or main shopping seasons have stopped.
Yeah, one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit later is, as you see in November 2008, if you look at how many unique visitors were there, that's really when it changed. That's when consumers really started to become a lot more savvier about coupons. So first off, before we get into this slide, there's a little error. And this is what happens when Sean asks you to give your presentation before you get here. So you'll see there's 2 search engines. The second one for 22% should actually be auction sites. So as you can see, this is also from ComScore. And they polled consumers, and these are the types of shopping sites that internet users found very important in the past 3 months. And again, this was in April 2009. So search engines, as we all know, extremely popular. They continue to be popular. No issues there. We continue to see growth in that arena. But online coupon sites, much more popular than they have been in the past. 25% find those very important. And comparison shopping sites and auction sites as well are right up there in the 20% range. So when they're going and they're searching, what terms are they looking for? And as you can see, there was a 90% change in the term coupons. And that was from, this is also from ComScore.
eMarketer, actually.
There's a couple of scary things on here. Unemployment, 210%. Unemployment benefits, 367%. Those are huge growth numbers. And I don't know if anybody looked at USA Today, but on the front, I think it was on the front page or the front page of one of the sections, it was saying that productivity is up 5.5%, which is almost unheard of in a recession. So unfortunately, and unemployment has stayed stagnant at 9.4%, but productivity is up. So I suspect we're still going to see a lot of people searching for unemployment. But the reality is, if you're a publisher or you're an advertiser, why do you care about this? Well, a couple reasons. If people are worried about losing their jobs, they're not spending a lot of money. So they're really going out there and they're looking for coupons, they're looking for discounts. So understanding this landscape is a way to ensure that you are getting those consumers. So what about Commission Junction? What are we seeing? So we have a lot of data, obviously. We've been in the business for 10 years, so we keep all that data, and we do like to publish it for folks so that they understand where the marketplace is going. So if you look on the left-hand side is commissions earned. So this is looking at coupon and deal publishers. These are the same store, meaning it's the same publishers, no new publishers entering into this data. And so the first half of 2007 over the first half of 2008, we saw a 48% increase in commissions earned. From 2008 to 2009, first half, again, same publishers, we saw a 16% increase. Now, 48%, a lot higher than 16%, but what I think is great is that more shoppers are going online. They're looking at coupon and deal publishers, and 16% is double-digit growth. So pretty amazing growth still. So how did we get here? So we have the savvy consumer now. They know how to shop online, and they know that if they go online, they're gonna get good deals. I always talk about how I always call it the mom factor. So I don't know about the rest of you, but my mom is not really that internet savvy. So she calls me the other day and she said, "Oh my God, Kim, you won't believe this great site that I went to. It's called Coupon Cabin, and I got these amazing deals." She's like, "I saw all about it on the news." Mom, I've been doing this in the business for 6 years. You don't really understand this yet? She's like, "Oh my God, I got amazing deals. I've got to go online. I got to keep shopping online." So that's when I know that it has really hit mainstream, is when your moms, your grandmothers, your grandfathers are starting to shop online. So we have savvy shoppers, they have more education, they're learning about it in different places, not just online, they're learning about it by watching the Today Show, by watching CNN, all those places. And the economy stinks. I mean, people are pinching their pennies, they don't have that much money, and even if they have money, they're being a lot more cautious about spending it. And so they're looking for a deal when they're going out to buy items. What we're finding is that average order sizes are lower, so consumers may be shopping more often, but they may not be buying as much in one shopping cart. So you need to embrace this, and what we're really finding is that this is the perfect storm. And how do we fix that?
So, yes, it's a storm, I guess, per se, but there's also opportunity in there. An opportunity for both publishers and advertisers to have a new conversation with their target audience. And quite frankly, folks that aren't paying attention to this and what's going on have essentially two choices. They could either sit on the sidelines and not doing anything about it and hope that the consumer somehow changes back. Or you can jump into the game and you can figure out how you can make this opportunity work for you. And we're going to start to dig into that right now. So understanding how to turn opportunity into profit, and specifically around coupons, 4 basic things that we like to think about. Number 1 is embracing the situation. Every single business is different, publisher and advertiser. How does your business fit into what's going on in terms of consumer shopping behavior? Dispel the myths. There are tons of myths around coupons and couponing in general. Understand what those are. Understand what your concerns are, your company's concerns, and then try to get the facts behind those myths. Again, going back up into the embracing the situation as well, and understand how your company can fit in. Think strategically, have a plan. We've seen folks in the past that go into couponing without a plan and then tell us that it doesn't work or it's doing all these terrible things. It's because you didn't plan for the discount. So, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. And then finally, get in the game. All of you know of advertisers that have scores of coupons floating around out online. There are also advertisers that have 1. So understand where you sit in that spectrum and what makes the difference for you. But in the end, definitely get into the game. So Kim had mentioned earlier more people coming online. This is just a little stat that we wanted to throw up to illustrate that. Shop.org and Forrester released this. They polled a bunch of advertisers, a bunch of merchants, and found that 60% of them said that they've actually seen an increase in online usage. 27% said they saw a decrease, and 13% said it remained flat. Now, what this means is not only are consumers more savvy, they're looking for deals, but there are more of them now online. So the opportunity starts to grow exponentially when you keep this in mind as well.
I think what's pretty amazing about this is if you look at it, 73% of retailers made money. They either made more money than they did last year, or they're flat, which in this economy is great.
Right. So we wanted to talk about 5 myths that we hear a lot. And myth number 1 is not that black labs are difficult to walk. Myth number 1 is actually about coupon control and understanding how to rein that in. And specifically, the biggest piece of that is planning for success. And I had mentioned a plan earlier. But folks, planning for success really means understanding, again, where your profitability thresholds are, where your margins are, what your competition is doing online in terms of couponing, and how you fit into that spectrum. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, and there are all types of flavors of that. If you are a merchant or an advertiser that's very brand conscious, think about ways that you can control what's happening in your affiliate program through things like adding negative match language to search policies. Publishers love that. It's awesome. But it does help keep your couponing under control. Limit the redemptions that can be issued on a specific coupon. This brings your universe a little bit further in terms of the possible exposure on that coupon. Purchase thresholds. Make the consumer commit to something before they get that discount. Again, you're upping the shopping cart value there, and essentially keeping that control lever in. And then finally, coupon stacking. Beware of this if you are an advertiser or merchant thinking about couponing. That's coupons being used on top of coupons on top of coupons, which can get costly.
And the one thing about coupon stacking that I will say is that you should look at it even, there's the negative aspect, which is beware of coupon stacking, but then there's the positive aspect of that is that you allow your consumers to do coupon stacking. As long as you make it part of your plan, then you can, be very successful. We have a large retailer that we work with right now who loves coupon stacking. They promote it with their publishers, they promote it with their consumers, and it's been extremely successful. But the reason it's been successful is because they know what their margins are and they track and analyze it.
And if you are adverse to the coupon stacking methodology, there are technical solutions to reining that in. So your coupon goes viral. Now what do? Wow. It's probably the #1 concern that we hear. And I would hearken back to the plan. So plan for your coupon to go viral. Assume that it's going to go viral. Assume that it's not just going to go to 51,000 possible consumers. But there are real benefits to a viral coupon if you've planned things out on the economic side. One is exposure and brand benefit. Not only do coupons open the door to new customers, but they also open the door to new customers in new places online, places where if you are an advertiser, your brand may not be today. A viral coupon can help you get into those areas and again, acquire new customers. And then remember, you always still have control through folks, third parties, folks like networks like us, or whoever you work with. We have the ability and a lot of insight into reining that type of thing in.
So coupons damage my margin. I hear this a lot from advertisers or from merchants, and I completely understand, but there is a way to control this as well. So if you're going to get into doing coupons or doing discounts, what you want to make sure is that we keep harping on it, but you want to make sure that you have a plan. And part of that plan is not necessarily shipping a coupon out to every publisher in your network. So maybe it's giving only a specific coupon for specific products, or giving a coupon just to specific publishers for a period of time. And one other way to control your margin is to choose higher margin products for coupons. So if there's a lot more margin in that product, you can give away a little bit more. And as Mike mentioned earlier, set up maybe a threshold. So if your typical average order size is 100, maybe they can't use the coupon until they spend 150. But it's all about analyzing the coupons and making sure that you know what you're pushing out before you do so. A lot of merchants have seasonal inventory, so make sure you know what's seasonal, and if you want to get rid of it, the online channel is a perfect way to do that. So work with specific publishers to make sure that you know that they can get rid of that inventory for you. Use custom codes and links. So again, it goes back to, it's not an all or nothing. You can have specific coupon codes for specific publishers that when you're trying to garner certain segments. And then limit the coupon distribution. We're going to talk a little bit about it later, but if you're creating an exclusive environment, especially if you have a really strong brand and you know some of your consumers that you're trying to gain are at a certain type of publisher, push those types of coupons out there, make them exclusive, make those consumers want to search for them. And then along with that, you can use vanity codes. So you can use a specific code that just goes for that particular publisher. For example, you promise, you could have a code that just says you promise 01. So all of these things are to help you work to make sure that you're not damaging your margins. And if you're a merchant, talk to your publishers. They really want to work with you to make sure that they're not damaging your margins and that they are ensuring that it's a profitable channel for you. And if you talk to them and help them to understand what your goals are, then they're going to want to work with you and try and get the consumer segments that you're trying to go after. So we've worked with a lot of Internet Retailer 500 merchants, and here's 2 examples of some merchants that have had really big success. Both of these are large brand names. Sorry, I can't tell you who they are. But one of them is a large home and garden retailer. They've seen double-digit year-over-year growth in the affiliate channel by offering coupons. Last year, they had a coupon program a little bit. They really didn't embrace the sites that well. And this year, they went out, they did site-wide coupons, they did coupons across all of their deal publishers, and they had phenomenal response, and it actually increased their margins. And then the other one was and I'm going to talk about this one here and into the next slide, was a women's retailer that was very brand conscious, and they didn't want to be next to a coupon. They just did not want to associate their name and a coupon together. And so we worked with them and said, you know, you don't necessarily need to cheapen your brand to put yourself on coupon sites. So we did a little bit of a test, and we put them on a couple of select sites that they looked at the quality, they spoke with the publisher, explained to them what they were looking for and how they wanted to be perceived, and it was a win-win situation. They saw huge sales, and they were able to fulfill their profitability. So with that example, we do have a lot of merchants who are afraid that if they put their name next to coupon or next to discount, it's going to make them feel like they're cheap. And they might be a luxury brand, and that's really hard to do, and we completely understand that. What I would say is, again, go back to what's your plan. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't have to do every coupon and deal site. You can choose a select number. And make sure that you know what your plan is to achieve that profitability. And lastly, we talked about this a few slides back when we looked at that ComScore slide with unique visitors. Holiday 2008 totally changed the landscape of how consumers are purchasing. They realized that they can get coupons online. And as we've shown through the statistics here, lots of them are shopping and looking for those coupons.
So quick question for you guys. How many of you have been shopping online and did a quick search for a coupon code? Cool.
Almost everybody.
Me too.
So who didn't? Who's never looked for a coupon code or a coupon online? No one.
Wow.
So think about that. Those are your consumers that you're going after, and I think sometimes we forget that we're consumers too, and what is our behavior? So if we're going out and we're looking for coupons every time we go shopping, that's what our customers are doing too. So we want to embrace it a little bit more. So myth number 4 is the consumer would have made the purchase anyway. So I'm giving them a discount or I'm giving them a coupon of some sort off of something that they would have paid full price for. And so why bother? So what we've seen is that coupons can really create an urgency to purchase. So yeah, maybe they were going to purchase that item, but they weren't going to purchase it for another 6 months. Or maybe they were thinking about purchasing it, but they were going to purchase it at your competitor. So if you give them even sometimes a small discount, they're willing to purchase right away. Create the feeling that there's an urgency around purchasing that item right now. So if there's an expiration or an exclusive, all those types of things give the consumer the idea that they need to do it right now. And right now we're seeing a reluctance for a lot of consumers to spend money, especially on items that are pretty high priced. So give them the opportunity to buy. Give them a slight discount and tell them, hey, buy now, and maybe increase that average order size. So 87% and 89%, some big numbers. So 87% based on our poll here was 100%. Consumers now prefer to shop at retailers that offer coupons. 89% said they're more likely to use coupons in a recession. So I go back to the first slide. We're in a recession, and people don't want to spend a lot of money. So coupons can actually create longer-term customers. So you're creating engagement with some of those consumer segments that maybe you haven't been reaching before. New customers, customers who are shopping at your competitors, customers who maybe don't know about you because you are a high-end brand and they think, I can't afford there right now. And what we're also finding is offering the coupon doesn't mean that the consumer is not going to come back to your site when you don't have a coupon. As long as you're engaging them once they get there, then they're going to continue to shop even after the coupon expires.
And that's probably one of the most important points of couponing is you got to think past just the coupon to make it work. You need to have additional incremental value for the consumer and to make it work either as a publisher or an advertiser. So thinking past the coupon, this interesting slide really points out, are your customers grabbing a coupon, getting to your site, and then completely frustrated with the shopping experience, or find almost no additional value when they get to your site? Or are they happy? Are they getting there and they're finding reviews on products? Are they finding products displayed in rich media? Are they finding various other points of value that they would look for in a shopping experience? And if you're a publisher, how are you presenting the coupon codes? Are you just splashing them all over a page? Or are you, again, just like the advertisers, offering additional value on those coupon codes? Do they work or not? How old are they? All those great things. User-generated content is a great value add there. And continuing on that road, again, it's not just about a discount. It's not about a discount strategy. It's about consumer engagement, and it's about a conversation with your target audience on both sides of the fence. And how are you going to approach that conversation? New customer acquisition, we say this time and time again, coupons are a great vehicle for new customer acquisition. If you go back to the viral component, new customers are in places where you are not today, and that these coupons can introduce those folks to you. And then finally, some of that coupon traffic sticks. I'd say a lot of it does, especially if you're giving incremental value on top of a discount to the consumer or on top of a coupon code. Think about the whole picture, not just getting the quick discount, and you will be very happy.
So for advertisers out there, for merchants, I think hopefully we've hammered it home that you need to develop a strategy. So develop a plan. What's your plan for coupons? Is it lots of coupons on every site? Is it one coupon? Is it just to get rid of inventory? Whatever those strategies are, you need to write them down, understand what your margin is for each one of those products, and ensure that you're keeping profitable, even with the coupon. All of you out there, I'm sure, don't want to have to listen to your CFOs say, hey, we're losing money here. You need to make sure that you're not losing money, and one of the ways to do that is to plan for it. So you're going out, you're putting out those coupons. You also need to understand, we talked about 5 different myths today. Now, all of those myths may or may not apply to your individual business. So know which ones do apply to your business and work to make sure that your internal folks know why you're doing coupons. One of the things we find quite often is a merchant does some sort of coupon and then they get backlash from their upper management. So as long as you have a strategy and can show that you're going to make money and that you're going to increase sales while still remaining within your margin targets, it's a win-win for everyone. And then realize, lastly, that it's more than just a discount. You're trying to get new customers. You're trying to take brand loyal customers today that may not be shopping because they can't afford to shop on your site anymore. There's economically challenged consumers out there that have just moved to the online channel, and you want to engage all of those types of consumers. You've got competitors out there that are doing coupons or they're doing other things. You want to bring those consumers over to you.
And as a publisher, just to harken to the same thing, develop a strategy, develop a plan. How are you engaging consumers or users on your site, visitors, with coupons? Is it, again, just a splash of coupon codes, or is there an economical reasoning for how coupons are set up on your site? Do you have specific relationships with advertisers? Also, giving users a reason to come back besides just a quick discount code. Is there something they can subscribe to? Again, going back to user-generated content or unique content that you may have to offer around the discount code, advertiser, et cetera. And then finally, can't stress it enough, develop long-term advertiser relationships. So be upfront with advertisers, help them understand what your value proposition is to using the coupon code and sending traffic their way via coupons, and really try to foster that relationship over time. And exclusives will come over time, and vanity codes and all those great things that I know coupon publishers are really looking for.
So lastly, we hope that today we've been able to debunk some of the myths that are out there about coupons, give you a way to develop a plan, and help you to move forward to either whether you're an advertiser or a publisher to get in the game and start using coupons to gain those new consumers. We don't know what the economy is going to do in the next 6 months, year, but what we do know is that we have better educated consumers out there, and they're going to continue to look for coupons. And so you might as well get in the game. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to answer. Awesome.
The question was, do we have stats on what works better, right? Percentage off or straight dollar off, and what the benchmark would be there?
I would say what we find is that it's specific to retailers and to test it. So it depends on who comes to your site. So I would test it as a % off, and then I would test it as a dollar figure off and see which one works better and do the analysis. Because I've seen both work, and I've even seen free shipping work better than a 10% discount when the 10% discount is more money than the free shipping.
And look at your competitors too,
yeah.
What they're doing, what they're offering, and think about, and maybe it's an opportunity to differentiate, or maybe you just have to do the same exact thing to get the consumer. So think about that as well. The HTML unique coupon codes? Clicks through, and the coupon code auto-populates when you get to the advertiser side. Serialized. Right, right. It's all over the place. Did you hear that, Kim?
No, I didn't hear what the question was.
So her question was using links, coupon codes within links rather than just distributing a code just as text on the site.
Yeah.
So in order to redeem the coupon code, it's not necessarily displayed on the site. Someone actually physically clicks, well, virtually clicks the link. The code's populated or carried through on the click-through into the advertiser's shopping cart. So that it's not, her concern is the viral component. Coupon codes are pushed out and then distributed all over the place. And she may offer a vanity code for a publisher, and I've heard publishers say this all the time. These publishers are grabbing my coupon codes. Do you know of anyone that offers that type of service, or is that
I don't. I know that we, as Commission Junction, try and work with specific merchants to help control some of that on the publisher side, but I don't know of any sort of third party or anything that does it. But why don't you come up afterwards and we'll take a card and see if we can get something for you.
Actually, there's a gentleman that just raised his hand that I think probably either does that or knows how to. He does that.
Okay. Look
Cool.
at that. We made a connection.
See that right there? Yeah.
We want your card too.
events. We have advertisers with hundreds of coupons out.
Yeah, if we have.
Depends on we see advertisers with a ton of coupons that are in highly competitive businesses. I don't know what business you're in, but it definitely
especially
depends.
the hardware,
Right.
computer hardware. We see lots and lots and lots of coupons there. And that's one place where it seems like that everybody wants to find a discount in that market. But I would say specific industries have less coupons. I would we can talk later about maybe the merchant that you work for and what might work for you.
Yeah, and if you're new, I wouldn't suggest the hundreds of coupons strategy.
Very
maybe one or two, and to Kim's point earlier, testing with a few publishers. But maybe you end up at hundreds.
I can't say enough that testing and analysis is key to making sure that coupons work well.
I do.
How about the data feeds? With CJB offering new access to data feeds for publishers, I know that they're offering I get sometimes links.
Right.
Excel.
Yep.
Links, but that's broadband promotions of every advertiser.
Right.
ShareCell is offering coupon data feeds. Just
Right.
coupons
Right.
alone.
Yep.
For various advertisers that you're approving. Would that be
Right.
something that's coming in, or?
Right now, we just have the offer feed, which I think is what you're talking about. So yeah, I think there is a plan to kind of break that out into coupons and to make something a little bit more directed, because it's a broad swipe across the board. And as a publisher, you got to weed through that. Anyone else? Questions? Did you get that, Kim?
Yeah, I got that. So if we go back to that women's retailer, that was a high-end luxury brand, and really being selective, doing it with a couple of different publishers, and they were extremely selective to the point that we looked at every site and where the coupon was going to be placed, who it was going to be next to, what the details were, so that everyone was comfortable, from their director of marketing all the way up to their CMO, and ensured that only those sites had it, so we made sure they were vanity. And we helped to control that. As far as whether it's gift code or coupon code, I would say whatever your consumers are most familiar with is really what you should go with. And I can't recall actually off the top of my head right now what they went with, but it was more in the vernacular of what their consumers expected, because they also have catalogs, so they understood some of that language. Does that answer your question?
And I think the key there is working with, if it's a network or whoever, to kind of control the universe. And that's exactly what this retailer did, is they asked us control it to the nth degree, and as their entree into couponing. And we were able to do that and make sure, we can squash, if it goes too viral, we can squash that, and we can work with the publishers on that. Right.
I go back to the consumer is so much more educated, and so we don't know specifically we know that's happening from talking, but we don't have any specific data as to whether you would have gotten the customer or not, and that's because it's more on the back end of the merchant, but I think we should look into that a little bit more.
Yeah, testing it out, pull it down, give it some time, see what the benchmark is, and then put it up, and very basic.
Did you pull it back out? Did you pull out the coupon code piece? Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah. We'd love to hear about it. So
Yeah.
if you can give us your card after.
Hi, yes.
What about brick and mortar coupons, and how can the affiliate make money on that?
Brick and mortar coupons. How can the affiliate make money on that? It's an interesting area. We've been talking to a lot of companies, talking to a lot of publishers about that. Right now, most of the brick and mortar coupons are being done. Many of them are being done not through affiliate. So like coupons.com, it's the print and bring in type scenario. But there are publishers now working with companies where that can be tracked back. Companies are coming up with solutions, third parties, where that can now be tracked back to a referral. So whether it was printed or a download, that's pretty much what I know about the space. I mean,
yeah, and I was going to say also, we've worked with some specific merchants who have the ability within their point of sale system to have the coupon code or the coupon, like a UPC code online that the consumer can print it off, and then they go into the store and it can be scanned. I would say there's two sort of schools of thought on it. We have merchants who say, I don't want to blend my online and my offline. And then we have others who are embracing it as, this is my entire channel, online and offline, and it's all my consumers, because they're coming to my site, they're shopping and looking online, and then they're going into my store, so I might as well see if I can create an urgency for them to buy, and that might be a coupon. So I think you're going to see a little bit more convergence as it comes along. There's some third parties that we can talk about with you after that. We know that do that.
So success with coupons on a limited basis? It depends on what you're couponing and why. So obviously you're going to get more people using the coupon over a month, but to Kim's point on creating a sense of urgency, you'll likely have a higher volume of sales in the shorter amount of time. So it really depends on what you're trying to coupon and what your objective is. Move inventory or to build loyalty over time.
And I would also recommend talking to your publishers, because a lot of them have strategies around their own sites, and a week-long coupon might be fantastic for them, or a day sale might be fantastic for them. And then there's others that want to keep coupons up for a month. But many of them like the freshness of new deals, so they can engage their consumers too.
One more point, just going back to the offline-online scenario. We actually are working with a company right now on called Ring Revenue on paper call platform, and what that allows a publisher to do is to publish a 800 number on behalf of a specific advertiser, and possibly a coupon code. When the consumer sees that 800 number, everything's tracked back to that publisher. If they're asked within the advertiser's call center for the coupon code, then that can be tracked back to the publisher that way too. And the cool thing about the Ring Revenue stuff is that it allows publishers to use all kinds of mediums to publish ads. You could use it in a print ad, you can use it online, you can use it all over the place. So that's another way to pull coupons into the offline world as well. Just thought of that.
Any other questions? Oh.
Sure. It pretty much fluctuates however you want the action set up. So it depends on what you're selling. So if you're a pure sales channel, If you're selling widgets or whatever, it's likely on a sale. If you are trying to close home loans, there's likely going to be a time that you're going to compensate the publisher on. You were on the phone with the consumer for 10 minutes, so that's equal to X amount of value passed back to the publisher. So it definitely fluctuates over time based on what the overall business is. Mhm. I personally do, based on what I've seen, because I agree. That's what we're seeing right now. Is we're seeing the niche guys developing. That's that value proposition to the consumer that I think keeps consumers coming back. It's going beyond what the typical discounter is, going beyond what maybe a splash up some coupon codes publisher is, and we've seen a lot of strong models in our network doing exactly that. It does take a lot of work. I also think it's part of, if you look on the publisher side of the evolution of consumers, and we're seeing it constantly, there are market shifts happening on the publisher side too. And consumers are demanding new things from content sites or what we call legacy publisher sites. Some of those things are better content, more relevant content. Consumers are now shopping and now browsing the web at a more micro level, I should say, than they were in the past. And I think directories are great, and I think that's kind of addressing that macro need coupon. But I think the consumers are savvy both on, I think, the shopping and on the kind of the consumable content front on the web, and that's why I think some of these niche guys are starting to really pick up some steam.
And I think that's where we're seeing the double-digit, triple-digit growth. A lot of those other types of sites, we're seeing growth still, but we're not seeing it at the trajectory that we're seeing it on some of those content sites.
Right.
Not yet.
Nope, that's not affiliate yet. They do.
Yep.
They do. Yeah, that's Bing. That's proprietarily Bing on their own doing that. So that's their own program. So. What's that?
Yeah.
I guess that's the model, something like that. Paying people to use the search engine. But any other questions, guys?
Well, we'll be up here if you have any
Yep.
other questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
We
everyone.
appreciate it. Thanks.